Hello, yeah, time for another update. I finished it a few days ago, to be honest. It took me a while to get around to doing the video, but here we are. Yeah, the last video I did was French mounted Dragoons, which I'd really enjoyed doing. Perry miniature, the Perry plastic box set, and these are the dismounted counterparts, which you also get in the box set. I didn't get this many in the set. I had to pick up a couple of extra sprues, and somebody gave me a couple they weren't using. But yeah, I ended up with enough to make two groups of six, which for sharp practice would be perfect. Say all Perry figures, except a couple of random heads in there from other sets as well, from Warlord sets, the bear heads, just to sort of bring some variety. Yeah, nice figures actually. They you only get effectively two sort of bodies, but actually what you can do with them, you can make kind of three different poses out of them. And they come out okay. You put the arms at different heights and angles and things. You can vary them up a bit, so they're not too bad. Enjoy painting them again. Said before, it's quite enjoyed doing this. Like this, pink is an odd colour, but don't do it very often in this sort of business. So it was good to have a play with that. Actually, I expected the paint to be it's a Vallejo pink. I don't know why, but I expected it to be quite watery and maybe a bit like some of the yellows, that sort of colour, be quite difficult to paint. But actually, the colour was really good, really thick, got really good coverage with it, couldn't complain at all. I think what I did was put down a Vallejo purple first of all, and then did my wash, and then highlighted up with the pink after that. So yeah, try and give it a bit of depth. I don't think it's worked out too badly. So yeah, pleased with those. The mildly interesting, I guess, if you're of that ilk, I bought with these officers, or the officer and the trumpeter. I've obviously got them on separately on the mounted equivalent, and I wanted to replicate them on foot. But actually getting dismounted dragoon figures is not that easy. I did look around, and there wasn't a lot going, to be honest. So what I hit on in the end was I used, it's a bit of kit bashing, converting, which I'm not very good at, but it's quite good fun to sort of play around with sort of on a low level basis. But I took the dismounted dragoon figures and basically cut them at the waist, which is quite a harrowing, scary moment. You're sticking a Stanley knife through the middle of a figure, which may not work out too well, but I seem to make the cuts okay. So I cut them off at the waist, and then I picked up a separate or another Perry Command mounted sprue, and I used the torsos and arms and from the mounted box. So they are actually, say, half a dismounted figure and half a mounted figure welded together, which don't seem to work out too bad, to be honest. I didn't think. So yeah, I was able to replicate the officer figures I want in plastic. I did look around. There were very few figures doing them, or very few manufacturers making them rather, and it was just more fun to make my own in the end. So yeah, they turned out too bad. So yeah, that's it really for all for sharp practice. We've got two groups of six. They'll go with the two groups of eight horsemen. I ride mounted versions I made. And obviously, as I say, 8 on horse, a group of 6 on foot. There's another couple of figures unaccounted for, which is why we've got these. Yeah, in the game, when you guys dismount, they're meant to, they lose a couple of figures, and that represents the sort of horse holders. You're meant to put the figures, the base down on the board somewhere, and that's where the figures can go, or the guys can go back to if they want to mount up. Equally, if the enemy get in contact with them, they lose the horse holders, and they lose the chance to mount back up again. So yeah, again, I couldn't really find much in the way of figures available. So I again a little bit of converting, kit bashing, what you want to call it. I got an extra sprue of the horses, which meant I could have some dismounted horses. Or some riderless horses, and also took a couple more of the dismounted dragoons, played around with their arms a bit and put them at different heights, so it looks like they're sort of holding on to a couple of horses. I mean, if you're very picky with it, so the horses are in quite action-packed poses for being held, but yeah, I mean, they could be rearing up, or however you want to describe it. I don't think it looks entirely unplausible. It certainly works as a, just a marker figure. It certainly works. The only other thing that's a bit odd is, I guess, down the middle of the saddle, it should be sort of textured throughout, and there's just a flat bit down the middle where the rider would go, but it's not going to bother me too much. Overall, I think they work. As I say, it was difficult to find anything you could buy, and I had a few spare bits floating around, and just picking for the sake of picking up the odd extra sprue. This was a more fun way of doing it, and a sort of more reasonable way of getting what I wanted. So yeah, that's that. I've got some stills to put up at the end, so we'll do those so you can get a closer look if you're of that mind. But otherwise, that's about it really for this update. The next thing, I'll probably record the video shortly actually and put it in a couple of days after this one, for the Saga 8-point, or Saga Age of Magic 8-point challenge. I have got my stuff together on that a little bit now, so I'll put up a video on that in a day or two. So yeah, that's where we are, I think. Other than that, yeah, usual stuff. Thanks to everyone for watching and subscribing. It really means a lot. It'd be fairly pointless me doing this if people didn't watch and pay attention, but you do, so thank you. Thanks for your comments as well, always appreciated. And thanks to everyone that makes their own videos and gives me things to watch while I'm painting. Thank you very much for that too. So I'll leave it there because I've gone on for a little while, and yeah, all the best, look after yourselves, and we'll speak to you again soon. Take care.